So today is part 2 of our pin curl tutorial. This is how to do a brush out. Basically, once you've set your pin curls overnight, what do you do then? Check it out. First of all, we want to remove our scarf and give our hair a little bit of time just to let any humidity dissipate. That is to make sure that the curls are cool and back to room temperature. We're going to start by removing our pins, and of course, working from the bottom to the top means that we're not going to get caught up in ourselves. If we work from the top down, then the hair that we've let out is going to start getting tangled into the bits in the bottom. So let's take these out and see how it goes. Give your hair a quick pat through just to make sure that you have actually removed all the pins. There's one! Because the last thing you want to do is start dragging your comb through it, get it caught and, give yourself a headache. So as you can see, pin curls give a really strong, tight curl. See, look how bouncy they are. But the question is, and this is where most people get to, once I've pin curled my hair, what the heck do I do with the orphan Annie look? How do I turn this into a beautiful, smooth, or a nice loose curl? Okay. So now that we have our bouncy pin curls out, all we want to do is curl them and put them into shape. We're going to use a nice wide tooth comb, like this. And sometimes you can use a paddle brush, like this. I would only recommend using a paddle brush if you do have quite thick hair. If your hair is very fine and straight, or thin and straight, you won't need to use something quite as strong as a paddle brush. I'd be sticking simply to using the wide tooth comb. For me, first things first, I like to use my fingers to start to separate these curls. This is where it starts to look a little bit scary because you've done this. Now you're looking at this going, was I after this look? Here's some options for you. The most important thing that you're going to need is a serum or some sort of smoothing product. While I'm travelling, I like to take things in plastic, and there's a lot of options for what you can use with this. The good old Brill cream does a brilliant job. I'm using an Umberto Gianni smoothing serum. It says for smoothie, curls and anti-frizz. But look, you can even use a little bit of olive oil on your hands, coconut oil, anything like that that's just going to help tame it and to direct the curls together. So I'm going to put a little tiny bit of this on my hand. Maybe 1.5. Right, work that through. I just want a really fine film on my hands. I don't want to leave too much on my hair. When I start to apply this, I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up because we don't want heavy product on the root area. I'm just going to work that through using the palm of my hand. Just grab it, don't be afraid. These curls are really well set in. They're not going to drop. Okay, so now that I've got my product in that, I can decide if I want to leave this out loose, big chunky curl, or, and what I know most of you prefer, is a much more smooth, cohesive vintage wave. That's what we're going to do now. Taking our wide tooth comb, we're going to gently comb the hair together, but use your hand to support the pieces. So you can see, as I'm doing that, all of those little curls go into one great big one. Then just use your hand to wind that together. See what happens here? Okay, now that's one section. We want to do this with all of it. So, as I said, if you have the fine or straight hair, just use your comb to do this. If you have thicker, longer hair, you might want to use your paddle brush. This is what I'm going to do. Start underneath, support the hair, brush those curls together, and you can start to see how that smooths together into a nice wave. What happens is that the direction of the curl all starts to come together and the smoothing serum helps it to stay like that. Once you've done that brush through, grab your section with your hand, just quickly smooth that down, and you'll see we have a nice bouncy wave. I can pin this, tuck this, do whatever I want with it. But the great part is even though this is nice and smooth and this is nice and curly, what happens if I change my mind? Well, it's as simple as running my fingers back through it and separating it out. At this point, you can add a little more serum if you want to have those separated, defined curls, which for me today, I might actually do separate. But for the purpose of the tutorial, let's brush it all together. And the other side. You can see how that's starting to go into a beautiful bouncy wave there. I'd like to add a little bit more serum, just because I want those curls to sit together, smooth and shiny. Once you've done that, you can use your comb just to catch any little flyaways. Turning pin curls into a beautiful vintage wave is not as hard as it looks. And the great part about this is because you've set that curl really well, you've got a foundation to keep this looking the way that it does all day. For my day today, I'm going to have something a little bit more fun. So I'm going to separate mine out because I want to get this big poofiness at the bottom. I hope this has helped you figure out what pin curls are for and how to use them. It's a really simple matter of just taking those out the next morning, giving it a little bit of a go through with your fingers, your hands, your brush and your smoothing serum, and that's it, you're ready to go. You can actually have your pin curl do finished in all of 2 minutes the next morning. So it gives you the hair that looks like you spent a lot of time on it that morning and you actually haven't. Keep watching for more great tutorials and I'll show you even more of my vintage tricks.
Be the first to see our brand new ebook series. The first, The 10-Minute Morning, is yours for free, simply by clicking through and subscribing to our email list where you'll find out everything that's about to hit the shelves. Thanks for watching.